This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local. It's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
And welcome to the midweek portion of Wyoming Sports Talk Today, being brought to you by Taco John's of Cheyenne. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service on Highway 30, your exclusive home for Jayco RVs, fifth wheels, and travel trailers. See my good friends over at Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. 18s, gotta go. Some sensational prices. Hey, great financing packages right now for the 19s as well at Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Delrange. My good friends Ray and Cindy, the Meffords, invite you to come on by. And again, they're directly across Menards. They have 2 convenient drive-thrus serving up 3 squares Monday through Saturday. Their breakfast, absolutely delicious to go along with lunch and dinner. Key of Cheyenne over on Nation Way. The lot is filled with the 19s, and A.J. Miller, my good buddy, says come on by. He's got a great staff working for him. Take a test drive, kick a few tires, and take home the key of your dreams today. Key of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Platte Valley Bank, 2 banking locations, the original location on Vanda High, and of course the east side location right there at the corner of College and Pershing. You can do banking the old-fashioned way. If you're old like me, you go in there and do the customer service thing. If you're like Nick, you do the high technology way. Banking online, and they offer it over there at Platte Valley Bank. Medicap Pharmacy, for all your pharmaceutical needs. Gene and his great staff, they've been doing this for a long time, not their first rodeo. Hey, with your doctor's prescription, they'll fill those prescriptions, and of course, they'll explain those medications to you, convenient drive-through for you, and again, they have a plethora of goodies inside Medicap Pharmacy. Open Monday through Saturday on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Lennox Auto Body, ×2, celebrating a quarter century in business, founded by Dick Lennox, and the tradition carried on by his daughter Heather. And Heather invites you to stop on by, whether you're doing the auto glass and detail thing on Pershing Boulevard, or maybe you need the repair done. See the main repair center over on Dunn Avenue, where a plethora of bays await you and your car or truck. First Year Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, again offering some sensational CD rates with annual percentage yields, especially on the 27-month CD at 3.1%. Mondello's Pizzeria across the way. Joey's been here for a long time, Joey Mondello and his staff, and they've been serving up delicious Paisan cuisine for, 4 decades right now. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Mars Plumbing Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue. They're on the job 24/7. Don't hesitate to give them a call if a problem arises in your casa. Mars Plumbing Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue. And we get things underway with our scoreboard. It is being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Here's Nick.
NHL action for tonight. Only 3 games on the slate, but you will see the New York Rangers at home at Madison Square Garden. They'll take on the Ottawa Senators. Also 2 on NBC Sports Network. Chicago Blackhawks at home. They will be at the United Center. They will take on the St. Louis Blues. And last but not least, Calgary Flames will travel down to Anaheim to see the Ducks at the Honda Center, at least at the old pond, so to speak. But again, Calgary Flames at Anaheim taking on the Ducks. That's what's happening in NHL action for tonight.
Big win by the Avs last night as they dumped the Oilers 6-2 in the can. Rockies pick up a win today. They went 11 innings as they get by the Rays. They snapped their 4-game losing streak, and they pounded out 1 run. That was enough as they win 1-0 in Tampa. Also on the scoreboard, finals from the American League. Twins topping the Royals at Kauffman Stadium 7-6. Phils have lost to the Nats 9-8 at Nationals Park. Bottom of the 5th inning, Diamondbacks Padres scoreless. Top of the 4th, Yankees leading the Motor City Kitties of Detroit 1-0. Top of the 4th, Blue Jays in the Rogers Center 2-0 over the Orioles. Final in, Brewers beat the Reds 1-0. White Sox over the Tribe 8-3 at Progressive Field. Games getting underway while we'll be on the air will be the Mets at the Marlins. After we get off in the 5 o'clock hour, Cubs at the Braves, Cardinals at the Pirates, Astros and the Rangers in the 6 o'clock hour. 8 o'clock hour has the Red Sox and the Athletics from the Oco, where the A's won last night 1-0. Giants and Dodgers once again from Chavez Ravine later on tonight. And on the NBA scoreboard, Here's what we got going on the hardwood for tonight. Pacers at the Pistons, Knicks and the Magic, Bulls, Wizards. It will be the 76ers at the Hawks, Raptors at the Nets in the Barclays Center, Celtic Heat in American Airlines Arena, Hornets and the Pelicans in the Smoothie King Center, Timberwolves and Mavericks at American Airlines Center. The Nuggets trying to rebound after last night's loss to the Warriors. They will host the Spurs in the Can. It will be the Jazz and the Suns, Grizz and the Trailblazers in the Moda Center, Rockets and the Clippers at Staples. Scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Hi, I'm Alex White, tea master at Pure Leaf. When I make tea, everything I know goes into it. You can't be impatient. When I craft Pure Leaf iced tea, I don't take shortcuts, because I want you to have the same amazing taste of iced tea that I do. So I start with fresh picked tea leaves. Then, after they're delicately dried, I blend and brew them at a lower temperature to draw out their unique aromas. And then I taste and fine-tune the blend for a delicious smooth iced tea. I'd love to have you take a sip right now, but that's one thing we can't do over the radio. But you can experience the same delicious taste of Pure Leaf iced tea anywhere you are. I'm Alex White, Pure Leaf Tea Master. Pure Leaf, our thing is tea.
Are you looking for a pharmacist who will actually take the time to talk to you? Then come to Medicap Pharmacy. We're dedicated to healthcare only, which means we'll fill your prescription quickly, and then we'll make time to listen, answer your questions, explain your prescriptions, and tell you about possible drug interactions.
Medicap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
You love the Lennox difference, from collision repair to minor nicks and dents. Certified quality you can trust. Nobody cares about your car more than us. Lennox Auto Body, we do what we say. We fix it right and get you on your way. No shortcuts, no compromise. Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue and the Detail Center at 617 East Pershing Boulevard, Cheyenne.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call the Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be partly sunny with a chance of rain showers with highs around 54. If it's tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with a slight chance of rain showers with lows around 36. On Thursday, it'll be sunny with highs around 61. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 37.
You're listening to Cheyenne's new Sports Talk Authority. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today on AM 1480 KRAE.
And good afternoon. Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry Proetti, along with Nick Proetti. And we threw the bat signal out to both the mayor as well as the City of Cheyenne Chief of Staff. And
Well, the mayor got back to me at least this time
mayor's
around.
busy.
She's busy, but at least we're looking to talk with her next week as well, too, to get her thoughts on what's been developing, at least on the athletic side, again, regarding the Cheyenne Stampede. But did also to reach out to one, at least Chief of Staff Eric Fountain. Again, Eric, thank you for at least getting back to me and, again, at least jumping on the show today to discuss a few things of what's happening, again, around the Cheyenne Stampede. Not to at least alert you as well, too, as I at least alluded to you, Erica. Don't be intimidated even though I'm wearing the Stampede jersey right now.
Oh, man, I'm afraid.
Anyway, Eric Fountain joins us here, the City of Cheyenne Chief of Staff. Eric, thank you so much for joining us on Wyoming Sports Talk today. And again,
Thank you guys.
We're going to try not to, beat you to death on this thing. And
Sure.
again, you know, it's news. It's big news. There is a cry on one side for the fans of the Stampede to say, hey, what the heck is going on here? The city has their side. We want to know what's going on. And hopefully you can open up a little bit, because I know we will have Mark Lance on tomorrow to get his side on where things are progressing. So let's talk about the Stampede. How important are the Stampede to the city of Cheyenne?
I think they're very important. I think of a club hockey organization that brings something to the community to do. You know, we hear all the time there's nothing to do in Cheyenne, but this is another flavor item that gives the community some completeness, and it also gives them an opportunity to get a little bit of hockey under the palate and have something to do on a Friday night and a Saturday night. I think anytime you have an organization that can bring something to the table that's beneficial to a community, it's important.
So we look at some things that changed under this administration from the Rick Kaysen administration, where, again, the Stampede came in under Rick Kaysen's administration and then continued on to...
At least had a contract develop under that administration that had to get revised under the new administration as well.
So let's talk about some of the issues that the Stampede has versus the city.
Sure.
For example, ice time went up. And then go ahead and give us the city's view on why ice time went up.
Sure. So I think one thing that's kind of important to understand is that this was not a first-time negotiation change to a contract. This was their fifth negotiation time for a new contract in Mayor Kaysen's administration as well as Ms. Orr's administration. The uniqueness to where we're going now versus in the past is we are data-driven. So the city has always been kind of anecdotal in how they gathered that data and how they defined ice prices. We decided that it was best to reach out to the Mountain States area, look at what the WSHL has out there in regards to other teams and relationships they have with ice facilities, and then narrow that down to municipalities that own the ice facilities versus private enterprises, because it's a very different conversation when you're having those types of...
Now, is this based on population?
Population's a consideration in there, usage is a consideration, the type of facility that it is, and what the other resources and avenues that it offers to a community as well. So there's a whole different palette of conversation that has to happen. The one thing that was very apparent to us from the beginning was that under Mayor Orr and the current city council, they had taken a look at the overall subsidizing to the Civic Center as well to the ice rink. And so they want to narrow that subsidy down. If it's possible, we'd like to eventually get to where they're self-sustaining and we don't have to subsidize them like we do other facilities.
Right.
The other piece of that is that when you look at what it costs to cool ice, make ice, develop ice, and then overall operations of the building, you take all those factors in consideration and then you come up with a number. Then that number's reduced at around 65%, to be honest with you, because that's the going factor when you look at what kind of club hockey program afford for ice. There's another part of that conversation, and that was for a long period of time, the price of ice had always been the same, and they had been allowed to utilize the facility as if an open door, but they were the primary users of the facility. That has now changed as well with the bumper cars. You have the Capitals program, the figure program's getting going. They're offering curling. They're looking at some other avenues to reach out to the community because it's a recreational facility first and foremost. The other part of that would be when you look at how you developed the program over time and where it's at today is a very different conversation from 2011 to now. New opportunities in Cheyenne, and Larry and Nick, you guys both know this. You open a new restaurant in town, everybody goes. It's got a lot of support. Everybody wants to be there. But then as time goes on, some of those things trickle down, and a little bit of disillusion there. And so for us, we had to redefine how business is done for the city. Because we didn't want to end up in the same bracket or boat as the private investment group that started the Cheyenne Ice.
And let's stop right there.
Sure.
And I'm glad that you brought that up. When it first came out as the Icon Center / Taco John's Center, now into the Cheyenne Ice and Event Center. I mean, let's be real. Prior to the stamps coming onto that ice, it was an albatross. And I mean, it was a big sore. Not so much that no one. I mean, it was not a beautiful facility, but no one was using it.
Right. Well, there was a reduced obligation too. I think once the city was able to acquire the facility, there wasn't that same financial obligation that had been there in the past to the investment group, as well as all the priorities of loans, et cetera, to the operation of the facility. And so I think there was a little bit of belief that by the city obtaining the facility, they could maintain because there wasn't as much cost associated. The costs are still there. There's just not a mortgage payment anymore. So
Right.
you can reduce that factor, but you didn't reduce any of the other factors that played into that.
So essentially, again, just kind of recap of what you just said there, it's pretty much of just trying to figure out an average number of what was going on with other teams around the league, at least supplementing for at least similar population size, seeing what cities had to pay, or at least those teams had to, but also to just trying to at least something that was addressed also too in that kind of infamous article that was produced in the Tribune Eagle by one Tyler, at least Pulaski, where in the quote by the mayor where she said, yeah, we're trying to eliminate that subsidy, trying to not put that at least levy on the taxpayers of the city of Cheyenne, which again, hey, all respect about that. But my question for you, Eric, and something that has been kind of tossed out from GM Mark Lance, or at least owner Mark Lance, where and something that we're trying to at least decide as well too is that those times that the Stampede do at least practice there, where again, during kind of the winter months, it's during school time.
It's downtime on the ice.
It's downtime, so to speak, where why kind of up those times, or at least up those rates for the Cheyenne Stampede, where, again, there's not really hard evidence to show what would happen if Stampede don't practice at that time, but also, too, there's really no kind of logical explanation that's going to pick up that ice time during those times when, again, a lot of folks around that 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock afternoon hour are not heading over to the Cheyenne Ice and Event Center to go play bumper cars or ice skate during that time. So, again, ice times at that time, why up the rates for the Cheyenne Stampede when probably no one else is going to be paying for that ice around that time?
That's a good question. So when you look at ice in general, a 24-hour operation, the ice price doesn't vary between nobody on the ice at 2 a.m. and nobody on the ice at 2 in the afternoon. The cost of operation is still exactly the same. So when you look at how you do business and how we need to do business, that is an understanding of the users of the facility, which is the Stampede. It wasn't an isolated incident to just the Stampede. There was a rate increase with the Cheyenne Capitals. There was rate increases for the figure program. So across the board, and those rate increases were really minimus when you look at the bigger picture, the bigger problems with where we're kind of going. Mm-hmm. I think when you want to talk about the ice price for the Stampede, you also need to look at the largest number of participation was 168 people, I believe, tickets sold, actual tickets purchased. They had one day, they only had 22 tickets purchased, and that could have been a Sunday afternoon game. But there's a big, strong piece of this, because in that same article, and it's on social media, it's not a surprise, there's allegations of 700 participants going out and watching the facility. Well, if there are, it didn't reflect that in the ticket sales. And so, I don't know that the ice price really is the issue, or the timing that you use the ice is the issue. Mm-hmm. I think there's it's how you do business. And the conversation that we had with Mr. Lance was very open, and he was open and honest as well, in that it's probably time for him to take a look at his business model. We take a look at our business model, and then we reconnect. And that's where the negotiations started from.
Well, and again, I think you're absolutely correct, where it was kind of a minimal, at least issue for the Cheyenne Stampede, where, hey, we're gonna deal with it, and it is what it is at this point in time. But the big issue, or at least something that has been kind of a flag for Mark Lance, and something that he's discussed with us of what was just kind of an issue for this season, was losing at least the board, at least advertising opportunities, where in the past the Cheyenne Stampede, at least in their own outright, took care of the boards. They sold the boards. They got that money, that revenue. And again, I do believe a 35% at least commission rate went back to the city of Cheyenne, according, or at least from the
40. The city got 40, and the Stampede got 60.
Okay. So again, still though, at least city got their cut from at least commissions made by those boards being sold. And then again, learning from this past season where that opportunity was taken away from the Cheyenne Stampede. So just kind of give the explanation behind that, or at least the reasoning of kind of removing that aspect from the Cheyenne Stampede.
Let's use our words. They're taken away. The city decided to take it over this year. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, that actually is wrong, and okay. So we did not take away the advertising. We again looked at how we do business, and there was some definitive pieces that we knew, without the no compete clause, which we don't operate under, that there was a possibility that perhaps the Stampede, perhaps the Capitals, perhaps the figure program would like to have that opportunity to get out there and sell that advertising as well to support their programs. And so by being a non-inclusive opportunity, we opened it up to the public. the uniqueness of that as well is it gives everybody a chance to support and do what they need to do. And they weren't able to do that by just having the Stampede be the sole individual selling advertising. So it wasn't taking it away. Also, there was not this big city going to get 40%. In fact, what we decided to do was we would find the cost of operations to sell the Dashers and how that would work. And then we went out and offered those opportunities to all the programs, and they could buy as many Dasher boards as they want, sell them for whatever price they wanted to sell them for. The city got their cut from that, and it was a great opportunity to do some fundraising for the Stampede, the Capitals, and that figure program, as well as curling.
We're talking with Eric Fountain, Cheyenne, City of Cheyenne's Chief of Staff. Eric, so we don't have he said, she said type of battle here on the air, and I don't want to get into this because I appreciate you coming in and giving us the city's point of view. Let me ask you this: if the Stamps and again they have gone dormant this season, what does it do to the city? I mean, that's a significant loss of income for again a facility that you're looking to again make sure it pays for itself.
And piggyback off of that, it's not just going direct to the at least City of Cheyenne government, but also to, again, going back to that article of the findings, and again, just those analytics that were passed along that we also at least looked into about $750,000 at least annual revenue coming into the city as a whole, whether it is to local businesses, local hotels, local restaurants. Again, it was $750,000 at least.
So the trickle down effect, ice to hotels and restaurants.
Yeah, and I think it's a respectable part of the conversation. What's unique in that is over the last couple of days, we've done a little bit of work as well because the data needs to support that. Again, having anecdotal conversations about how you market a program or how you market a facility is very unhealthy, whether it's a private business or a government entity. You can't do it that way. So what's unique in that is I've never seen any data from anywhere that specifically can support $750,000. So I started checking with the hotels. I said, hey, and I come to find out that one hotel specifically as a sponsor is the primary usage hotel for the Cheyenne Stampede, $12,000. So the next question comes, if I allow for $6,000 for food generated from those people coming to town to participate, another $6,000 in perhaps sales revenues or perhaps, something else, and another $6,000 for that, I have to step back and say to myself, I see about $60,000 direct impact annually. And then I have to take into consideration what the Stampede, how much ice time they buy, practice time they buy, game time, food and beverage within the facility itself. And I'm still well under $150,000. And so I'm just trying to figure that out myself, but I still don't have I can't actually say this is hardcore data. And I don't know if anybody actually has that hardcore data. You hear people talk about it. You hear them say, we believe this is the impact. But it's easy to get a number with that if you say, for instance, Civic Center, let's say I had 1,000 people come to a show and each person paid $15 for a ticket. I can see that number. And that's quantitative and it's absolutely measurable for the success. Everything else that went with it, I don't know unless I go back and with our new ticket sales program, which the Stampede participated in, saved them money, and it actually gave them data. And we can actually see where tickets were purchased, where those residents live, and shocking, most of the participants that go to the games live right here in Cheyenne, unless their parents are coming in to support their kids from another team. So it really gets down to a macro level or a micro level conversation. And so I again, as we begin to negotiate this and go forward again to try to find the resolution, that data is really important, and I think some of the players may be the chamber, some of the players may be Visit Cheyenne and get those people together to say, let's pinpoint this down and try to find a way to really see the economic impact within the community.
We're going to take a time out. We'll come back and we'll chat more with Eric Fountain after these words here on 1480 KRAE. Your locally owned and operated radio stations, KYOI FM and 1480 KRAE AM, are just that, local. Serving Cheyenne and Laramie County, where your advertising dollar stays local too. It doesn't end up in Colorado, Oklahoma, New Hampshire, or even New York. We conduct business here, we shop here, and we live here. And we support our entire community 24/7, 365. Just because it has a window dressing doesn't mean it isn't a facade. A reminder from KYOI and 1480 KRAE.
Are you tired of paying ATM fees? Hi, this is Rick Flood, president of Platte Valley Bank in Cheyenne. Use your Platte Valley Bank ATM or Visa debit card at any ATM anywhere. We won't charge you a fee on our end, and we'll reimburse any fee you incur at any other ATM. That's right, no ATM fees at Platte Valley Bank. How about that? Platte Valley Bank, 3310 North College Drive and 421 Van High Avenue, or pvbank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You can count on Platte Valley Bank. Community banking for you.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range. Join in for a festive evening of fun, food, and live auction in Cheyenne on Monday, May 6th at the historic Little Bear Inn, which is sponsoring the Love Never Forgets Gala to benefit the Wyoming chapter of the Alzheimer's Association. The event is being held to support the services provided on behalf of the nearly 30,000 Wyomingites affected by this relentless form of dementia. For more information, call the Alzheimer's chapter at 316-2892. That's 316-2892. Or visit First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue for your tickets. Remember, at First Tier Bank, you'll find the best rate on a 27-month CD with a 3.10% annual percentage yield. Right now, it's time to head over to Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service for low prices on outstanding RVs in Wyoming. Your local, exclusive Jayco dealer wants you to check out their closeout deals as well as their 2019 inventory of trailers, fifth wheels, and toy haulers. You can save up to 30% on select models with approved credit. You can find them at 6102 East Highway 30. Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service is a proud sponsor of LCCC men's and women's basketball, also our local high school teams too.
We're starting our 14th year and we still believe in putting you first by making it easy to own a new Kia vehicle. I'm AJ Miller for Kia of Cheyenne, and right now, we can help get you into a new 2019 Kia Sportage for less than Honda CR-V, Toyota RAV4, or Ford Escape. The 2019 Kia Sportage comes standard with power adjustable rear view mirrors, rear camera display, remote keyless entry, and more. Come into Kia of Cheyenne, call 775-0123 or go to kiaofcheyenne.com. We'll make it easy.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-through window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-through window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
You love the Lennox difference, from collision repair to minor nicks and dents. Certified quality you can trust. Nobody cares about your car more than us. Lennox Auto Body, we do what we say. We fix it right and get you on your way. No shortcuts, no compromise. Lennox Auto Body. No shortcuts, no compromise.
Lennox Auto Body at 1020 Dunn Avenue and the Detail Center at 617 East Pershing Boulevard, Cheyenne.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We're back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. And, let me use a better choice of words, instead of dormant, use the word holding pattern.
Let's feel good about what we're doing.
Well, yeah, because, again, I think here we on 1480K would love to see the Stamps back. I'm hoping the city feels the same way, too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And, again, both sides need to come together, but also, too,
well, and it sounds like both sides have come together, at least talk with you, Eric, and also to Marcus, pass along information that negotiations at least have been ongoing. Some positives have come out of it, at least I do believe. Just give us a little insight. I think you mentioned that you did, at least the city, offer the Cheyenne Stampede at least a renegotiation, at least this past weekend, correct?
Yeah, well, we didn't really offer renegotiation. That's going for the city council.
Okay.
So to be clear, I can't really offer a renegotiation. What I can do is, give him some data to support why we should reduce the ice prices to support the program. And again, where the city has the ice priced is very, very compatible and competitive with everybody else. But in good faith effort to try to recreate and co-create an opportunity, I think that's what we're really trying to do. In the meeting we had with Mr. Lance and Mrs. Lance, in trying to figure that out, we really had a conversation about 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. ice time, because you can really discount an ice time that has no value whatsoever in terms of usage.
Right.
Okay, so you may have a conversation where some folks come in, maybe it's a latchkey program or a homeschool program that says, I'd like to be on the ice at 2:30 in the afternoon. And we had that conversation where we said nobody really wants that time. I don't know that we've really defined what the facility looks like, because we've always gone with the same flow. So we came up with a 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. ice time for $115 an hour. Now, the pushback on that was, geez, it's really hard to get my players to want to do that. And my thought process was, hey, I know a lot of kids who swam who had to be at the pool at 5 a.m. A lot of kids who did intramural sports had to be there at 5 a.m. So I kind of frowned on that, especially when we're also talking about 18, 19, 20-year-olds that they can get up. It's time to get in the real world and join us as working folks that have to get up and do things. And so there was an opportunity there. I don't know if that's going to be what he actually takes up as the primary offer, but that's significant savings to the Stampede, and I think that it's a really good olive branch across the table. The other part of it was, if he didn't want to go that route and he wanted to remain exactly where he was at, I felt confident that in looking at the numbers, we could do basically like a $15 an hour decrease in the practice time, $15 an hour decrease within the game time. Now, there's a little bit of uniqueness there, because before that, the city of Cheyenne has just kind of operated the concessions with high school kids and whoever wants to apply, and we let it run through. We've redeveloped that as well with a concessionaire opportunity, and so we're really taking a look at how can we reduce the subsidy but also be able to subsidize some of these programs so that we're not raising those ice prices. And so again, we're not perfect at what we're doing, and we're not claiming to be perfect at what we're doing, but we're definitely trying to take a look at everything that it takes to make a program successful, whether it's the city or the user.
Well, and then again, too, this will go back to the newspaper article then, where, and again on the social media, she got blasted, the mayor got blasted for a comment that might have been taken out of context in the paper. Don't know. But the point is, with the situation that I'm hearing from you right now, is the city says, hey, we don't want to lose the stamps. We see their value to the property. Because again, too, at this time of year where the ice is gone, and now we cover it up, and we could have chamber events out there. We can have home and garden shows, and
some
then
boxing.
Fights.
Got some good fights coming up this Friday.
But also, too, you got to be real honest with me, Eric. The way this building was constructed, not enough seats.
It's like a wonderful ski lodge, and it's missing the other half.
Exactly. Exactly. So, I kind of feel for the Stamps, too, because if they do have that situation where they're going to fill up, you have to throw folks on the floor, which is, I guess, okay, up against
I like
the wall.
Well, hey, Nick and I were having that conversation. We want to be against that glass.
But I'm just saying, though, I look at this facility, and it was done wrong right out of the get-go. But, now that it's in that stage where the Stamps won't be back on the ice until August, I'm liking what I'm hearing here, especially from you, where it's like, hey, no doors are closed. Everything is open. Now it's just a matter of, dotting an I, crossing a T, and trying to make things perfect for
and
both
again,
sides.
keeping in layman's terms as well, too, of, hey, city is working with you, Stampede, but you need to work with us. Hey, we can't give you the ice time for free,
right.
but again, here's a reasonable price, at least, of what our stats are finding, or at least here's what we can do for you where we're not losing as well.
And that's right. And I want to go back to a couple things. One, you're 100% right. When the building was designed through the partnership, they had to cut corners somewhere and to get it done. And, you can tell where the corners were cut, but it's a great facility for what we can get based on the fact the taxpayers voted no. They didn't want an ice rink. And here we are, we have an ice rink now, and so we got to make do with what we have and recreate those opportunities. But I think we're very lucky to have it. There's a lot of communities that would love to have an ice rink, and we're fortunate to have that. We're fortunate to have a junior hockey league. We're fortunate to have kids playing on the ice and learning the competitive side of that and growing. And so, it's been a good thing for our community. Now, if we can just get the supporters, the people who really want to support the Stamps, as you would say, to get out there and fill those seats. We had a conversation about season tickets, in that meeting and trying to get folks to buy season tickets. And that really shows and demonstrates the support, the anecdotal conversation of saying, I'm super bummed to see the Stampede go. Oh, that's right. And I'm not going to go to the games the rest of this year. That speaks volumes. And I think that when we want people to support something, they need to get out there and they need to participate in it. And you got to like it. As we said, get against the glass and understand the game and find the passion within it. Baseball is the same way, and football and everything else. It's what the community belief and buy-in is that's going to make the program successful.
Well, I look at my situation. If I don't have advertisers, I'm out of business.
You're right.
And I would think in the case of the Stamps, and this is what would have to, again, go hand in hand with the city, what is the city willing to offer the Stampede? And I think you mentioned in our early part of our conversation, but those boards. And again, I think back to the day prior to mayor or becoming the mayor of Cheyenne, where there was a bunch of the boards that they had sold to various customers. And again, I don't know what the Kaysen administration was receiving out of that.
Sure.
But my question is to you, what's to say that the city does not or does allow the Stamps to come back with that? Because I know in Mark's case, similar to me, he needs advertisers as well, too. And I know he has a marketing person or himself going to various people saying, hey, I need for you to do this. Similar to what we see out of Powers Field. And again, you see out of Powers Field, from left field to right field, whether it's Post 6 or the Mustangs, you got sponsorships all across the outfield.
Yeah, it's kind of like comparing apples to pork chops. I'll be honest with you. When you talk about baseball and how that goes down, we collect player fees and practice fees, game fees, field fees, and then we run concessions and all those different pieces and connections that go with that. But then at the same time, no, we don't collect any money from the advertising. That's done by the baseball organizations themselves. Uniquely to that, though, at the same time, it doesn't cost as much to operate a baseball field as it does to operate an ice facility. And so, again, apples to pork chops, it could be fun, and it's still the same kind of thing. It's sports, and we all want to have them in our community. But again, they have a following. I think that also speaks volumes that if they're able to get out there and get that advertising sold, the same thing can happen for the Capitals, the Stampede, anybody else who wants to sell advertising on the ice. It's absolutely achievable. I really believe that by getting participation numbers up again for the Stampede would be a huge piece, a huge beneficial piece to them. And I would encourage anybody that's approached to, because my understanding was they were going to sell season tickets and try to say that. I would encourage anybody, if you really believe in your community, you really believe in what they stand for and what the Stampede does for the community in return, to support them. Be a season ticket holder, get out there and watch the show.
Right. And I think the city would agree, though, with the Stamps that they do a lot of community service.
Yeah, I don't think that's ever been a question. I think, again, it goes back to the relationship they built within the community and the relationship they want to continue to have. I think now is the time for Mark to reach across the table to those people as well that he's been so generous in helping out and building that relationship with the organization and the other nonprofits in the community, to really support them. Look and make it happen.
And as I hear you, Eric, and Nick, I don't mean to interrupt you, but as I hear you, it sounds like you are. And again, I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but what I'm hearing is you're very open to a lot of, you want to see the Stamps on the ice. You want to see, WHL hockey here, WHSL,
WSHL. There you go, Western States Hockey League.
Yeah, Western States Hockey. But you want to see that.
We'll take an Avalanche team if the city can support it.
Yeah, well, in my case right now, I'm just tired. I've been working many hours here today. But my point is, you want to see that brand of hockey stay in this community because it has been here for 6-7 years now.
But also too, again, it shows a good respect, or at least again wherewithal for the city of Cheyenne, and again for yourself, Eric, where you do recognize at least where it's not falling on deaf ears of the community service. Again, the following that the Stampede have, again, what they do for the city of Cheyenne. Again, it hasn't fallen off deaf ears, at least in the kind of government side of things with the city of Cheyenne. You do understand that as well.
Absolutely. Here's a very very important piece to keep in mind. And we're willing to do whatever we can to help organizations. We don't negotiate their contracts for them. The mayor's office has nothing to do with the contract. Recreation Events does not write their contracts for them. They're part of that conversation. And so the participants who want to rent ice time from the city, that's entirely on them, the outcome of that. If it's something they need to push back on, they can take that in front of the council and get that pushback, you know. My advice always is that anytime you look at an operation, you really align your business plan to what the business plan supports for the city entity as well. You have to understand that it's two-part user programming, A and B, and they're the B and we're the A, but they can work together, and I think you should work together. Otherwise, you lose those opportunities and you lose those great experiences and the support for other things in the community as well.
Well, you know, you look back to the original plan of the Icon Center where they put in, what, laser tag back in the day?
I think it's still there.
It actually is doing very well, believe it or not.
And
They've got everything up and running finally, and it works well.
And you have the golf course out there, the putt-putt golf course.
Revamped last summer.
So, and again, too, I mean, if you are going to market the Ice and Event Center, and that's exactly what it should be, Ice and Event Center. So part of the ice would be, hey, here's our featured player, which would be the Stamps, and again, too, it's a place for young and old to come. So, like I said earlier, it sounds like from you, and as you're speaking on representing the city here, it sounds like the city doesn't want the Stamps to go bye-bye, and right now it's just a matter of,
it's kind of finding that common ground with one another, or at least kind of finding a happy medium where we're happy, you're happy as well too, and let's make this, you know, a perfect relationship between
and it
both.
sounds like you're almost there.
Very close. Very close.
Anything else you want to add, Nick?
I think we got all, at least from Eric, at least. And again, we will at least hopefully tomorrow get at least a response from at least owner GM Mark Lance on his, again, your thoughts. Again, thank you so much, Eric, at least coming in and again giving the city at least side of the story.
And one final thought: are these year-to-year contracts, so to speak, for the Stamps?
No, the Stamps have a 2-year agreement. They're going to be going into year 2 on this agreement, and that's again. We were kind of surprised. We found out in the mayor's office that the conversation of the Stampede potentially going dormant, we got that from the press and Facebook. We didn't get that from the general manager himself. And so after that came to fruition, as far as I know, that's when we started asking some questions with rec and events staffing and trying to figure out what was going on. I'm not really sure at what point in time the mayor and Mr. Lance had an initial conversation, but I'm the one that reached out and said, hey, we'd like to have you come in. It's time to have a meeting. Let's find out what's going on. And I think we're heading on the right path, you guys. Really and truly, I do support your Stampede.
All right, sounds good. Eric, thank you so much. Appreciate you coming in. And again, City of Cheyenne Chief of Staff coming here, offering his opinion on what's going on here. With
strictly opinion
and insight as well too from the city side.
Well, you know, again, his opinion, and that's what we're hearing are opinions about this, and it's between the city and the Cheyenne Stampede to put pen to paper, get this all done, and if the Stampede would like to stay here, it sounds like the city wants them to stay.
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. We'll come back with more after these words are in 1480 KRAE.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Last play of the game, boys. Now they're expecting us to either run it or pass it. So instead, we're gonna do both. Like the new quesadilla taco at Taco John's. It's both a taco and a cheesy quesadilla. Taco and quesadilla. It's the perfect call.
Try Taco John's cheesy new quesadilla tacos, stuffed with sirloin steak, chipotle chicken, pork carnitas, or classic beef.
Let's go quesadilla taco our way to victory.
Olay the Day at Taco John's.
Emergencies can happen anytime, and Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, available 24/7, is here to take care of them in the quickest possible manner. Marv's Plumbing and Heating provides the highest quality service for all your plumbing and heating needs. So if you need bathroom remodeling or a commercial heating contractor for your latest building project, Marv's Plumbing and Heating will provide you with the most dependable service at a reasonable price. You can always count on Marv's Plumbing and Heating. Give them a call at 316-7634. That's 316-7634.
We are the key to your cleaning success. The Key People that provides affordable office and professional cleaning services for over 40 years with exceptional customer care. All of our contractors have background checks and are licensed and bonded. We guarantee you a safe and secure service that is tailored to your individual and business needs. The Key People do not impose year-long contracts, and all quotes are free, confidential, and personalized. Call the Key People at 1-800-468-8283. That's 1-800-468-8283.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Hello, this is Pastor Nathaniel Ensley with Blessed Hope Baptist Church in Burns, Wyoming, and I would like to invite you to listen to our weekly broadcast entitled Hope for Today, right here on 1480 KRAE, every Wednesday morning at 7 a.m. Our goal during each broadcast is to bring you a simple and short Bible truth that will be a help to you. Sure hope you can tune in. God bless you.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast, only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be partly sunny with a chance of rain showers with highs around 54. If it's tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with a slight chance of rain showers with lows around 36. On Thursday, it'll be sunny with highs around 61. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 37.
Here the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Once again, thank you to Eric Fountain joining us here, the City of Cheyenne Chief of Staff, giving us his thoughts. Yeah. And again, he's not speaking on, I mean, he's obviously talking on behalf of the city, but it sounds like the door is open.
And again, it's something that the city recognizes of, hey, the Stampede are a pivotal part of this town. Again, they do fantastic things for the city of Cheyenne. And again, they are trying to work with them to keep this team alive, to keep it thriving and successful here in the city of Cheyenne. So, and again, that was my ultimate goal. Now, regarding at least Mayor Orr, did want to bring her in. And again, did reach out to her once again. It was more so back a few weeks ago. It was regarding those comments that she made towards the paper of, again, kind of, in my opinion, they were not friendly to the Stampede. It showed that, again, it was not kosher comments, so to speak, regarding the Stampede of what she had to say in the paper. So, but again, we will see if she'll be able to join us and give her thoughts on everything, at least hopefully next week. And again, hopefully tomorrow. We're still working on it. It should be at least on tomorrow's show. We'll have owner GM Mark Lance. Hopefully he will join in and give his thoughts. If he has any argument or any rebuttal, at least what Eric had to say with us here today. So, again, the talks still ongoing between the Stampede and the city of Cheyenne. Again, negotiations trying to get worked out, details trying to work out. And again, hopefully by August time, or at least season start for the WSHL, hopefully Cheyenne Stampede will be out there skating and competing in the Mountain Division.
And again, my apology to the Cheyenne Stampede Western States Hockey League. Again, and you know it, Nick.
Oh, yeah.
I have been running around today. The last snowstorm, which I was down here, and I spent the night down here. You were gone, and
I was far away from this
place. And my transmitter site out at Hillsdale just got pummeled with the lightning, the thunder, and then the blizzard. And so one problem has now multiplied times 8. So where it's gotten to the point now, and we had this problem here on KRAE a couple of years back. I got to get my insurance company involved because the damage is that extensive out there right now. So
anyway,
and you know how Pops has been very stressed out.
I'll play the world's smallest violin.
I've been running back and forth here this afternoon trying to take care of business and be on the air at the same time.
All right. Anyway, so as we are here live on air again, whether it is 1480 AM, 101.1 FM, 1480KRAE.com, and video live streaming as always on Periscope, which you can find at Nick Wyo Sports via Twitter, and also too on the 1480KRAE YouTube channel. Again, thank you to Eric Fountain, City of Cheyenne Chief of Staff. And coming up here in the 4 o'clock hour, a few short minutes, as another guest will join us in studio. We will have the Vice President of BYB Extreme Fighting Series. Again, hopefully you do not say this name correct, at least incorrect. Jose Suris, I do believe.
Or Suris.
We'll get it from him, at least from the horse's mouth, when he comes in and joins us in studio. As Eric alluded to it, and we've been talking about it a few times. Again, coming up this Friday at the Cheyenne Ice and Event Center, it will be a pay-per-view event. Again, will be the Brawl for It All, Bare Knuckle Brawling, coming up April 5th, live at the Cheyenne Ice and Event Center, which will feature 10 bare knuckle fights and 2 MMA fights happening out there. Again, we'll pick his brain, get a little insight on everything. We did have Dada 5000 on at least a few weeks ago. He was the hype man, so to speak. But at least we'll kind of get into the business sense, what's going to be happening coming up this Friday, and just all the internals about BYB Extreme Fighting Series.
All right, moving back to last night, and again we had one Pat Graham on the air who was watching the Avs win last night. Very important win, by the way, by the Avs, because the Coyotes lost.
They will, I do believe, for the Avs coming up on at least for tomorrow,
a chance to clinch.
Yeah, they'll have a chance to at least get into the playoffs, as the Dallas Stars did clinch last night. So they are your at least first wild card team, or at least designated to be. And right now, the Colorado Avalanche, again, with that win and the Arizona loss, which was surprising. How do you lose the Kings at home? I don't understand. But yes, the Colorado Avalanche have a chance to make it to back-to-back playoffs if they are able to win tomorrow night, or at least gain 1 point, at least in their contest. So we'll see what happens there.
Now, here's an interesting scenario that is happening in the NBA. Warriors.
How about the interesting thing, and going back to as you were alluding to last night's contest between the Warriors and the Nuggets. Nuggets proved to me, at least from that game last night on the road at Oracle, yes, it is tough to win there in Oakland, California, against the defending back-to-back NBA champions. But Denver, to me, last night, where that felt like a playoff game, Denver is not going to last very long in the NBA playoffs.
And you saw the Warriors ramp it up through 3 quarters last night.
They turned it up to 110%. They said, hey, this is going to be a playoff atmosphere. Let's prove to this team that you got to take us on. You got to upset us before you're moving on anywhere.
I mean, you look at the fourth quarter where the Nuggets outscored the Warriors 38-30. That's basically taking your foot off the pedal.
Yeah.
So the Warriors ramped it up last night to tell everybody, hey, we will be the number 1 seed. Have faith in us. And again,
there's no guarantee. Again, you're going to be 2 games ahead.
You're 2 games ahead of the Nuggets with 5 to play, and
anything can happen.
I think you're 3 ahead of Houston, because that's another team you have to worry about.
Yeah.
And that's for the Nuggets. The Nuggets have to worry about the Rockets now, who are breathing down their necks as they're a game behind Denver for that number 2 spot.
And it's funny because out in the Pacific Division, Golden State has already clinched that division, but for the Northwest, where Denver's located, even with sitting in that 2nd seed spot in the Western Conference, they have yet to at least solidify. The Northwest is, again, they have teams breathing down their neck. I do believe Houston has locked up the Southwest, if I am correct, division, as they will be back-to-back Southwest Division champs. So there is that. But that at least game last night between Nuggets and Warriors, it proves to me that the Nuggets, this team, has a phenomenal season that they've had, or at least turnaround. It shows me that this team is not going to be ready when the bright lights are on them coming up here in a few short weeks when they are in the first round of the NBA playoffs. It doesn't even matter who they face off again.
They'll go the distance.
Whether it's San Antonio, again, you got to respect of what Coach Popovich is doing in San Antonio with the Spurs. He's been there how many years in a row? He knows what he's doing in the playoffs. He knows how to take care of these teams. He might not have the same, upper echelon Spurs teams of the past that were leading him to at least NBA championships, but he knows how to win series. He knows how to take care of business during those NBA playoffs. OKC, you look at what happened last night with Russell Westbrook, as much as it was kind of a dedication game, so to speak. But again, had a historical night. 20 points, 20 again. He was just on fire.
Well, and it's amazing too. From 1 to 8, there's only 8.5 game spread. This is how the West is. The West
There is no rollover
good.
team. Again, we're even for the Warriors at a 1-8 matchup, whether you see OKC, whether you see San Antonio, it's not going to be a 4-game sweep. I don't anticipate it. It's not going to be that for the 2-7 matchup, 3-6, 4-5. No one is sweeping in the West, at least in the first round.
In comparison, where you have Oklahoma City 12 games over 500 right now, you got Miami a game under 500 that is currently
the East is a joke. The East has always been a joke.
In that number 8 hole. So, it was a big win by the Warriors last night. And again, too, just in front of that crowd.
I don't say it was a big win for the Warriors because
I do. I say it's a big win because
they've had plenty under their belt. I think that was a good statement win to at least kind of say, hey, Denver Nuggets, get on our level. Or at least say, hey, you're not ready for the big times yet. We are still the defending NBA champions.
I don't even think that's it. I think the Warriors tried to dismiss all of the social media, all of the national media, where they're tired and
they looked tired last night.
No,
I think if anything, the Nuggets looked tired. They looked like they were just burnt out.
I mean, they ran the Nuggets out of the building early, and again, fourth quarter they put it in cruise.
But for Nuggets fans, that is disheartening. That is a game where, at least an end result, you did not want to see of your team, where they look pretty much pathetic. They look like a team that has no business competing in the playoffs, and they're gonna. I have a weird feeling that the Nuggets might be that first round exit because, again, of the inexperience, they are not used to this bright light, big time spotlight.
I'm going to disagree with you because at the can they have been good, so they can go
regular season is completely different than the playoffs. Anything and everything happens in the playoffs. And again, go back to what I said yesterday of those stats. The 2012-2013 season where they had 3 home losses in the Pepsi Can. It was the best home record of all time for at least for the Denver Nuggets. They're at the Pepsi Center. They still found a way to lose games there at the Pepsi Center to the Golden State Warriors, a 6th seed that eventually went on and moved past the Nuggets in that series.
All right, let's get out of the basketball just real quick because we'll update the baseball scores. But just want to mention that the Rocks snapping their 4-game losing
streak. There's no point
to
update the baseball scores when we're at the top of the hour.
Well, I know, but I just wanted we got a couple minutes here. Rockies winning in the top of the 11th today, 1-0 pitchers duel. Chris Iannetta hitting the Rockies' second home run of the season.
It is an offensive struggle right now for the Colorado Rockies, which is it alarming? A little bit. Is it surprising? Yes, to me. Again, as much as in the offseason or at least preseason spring training, hyping up this team of how powerful the offensive lineup was going to be. It's kind of a dead duck right now. It's laying an egg, so to speak. And against 2 franchises, maybe it's just on the road jitters. Maybe once they come back to Coors, things start to kind of vamp up for the Colorado Rockies. But to lose to Miami, to have struggles against Tampa Bay Rays, again, as much as Pat wanted to say, hey, respect the Rays, they're not going to be that top team in the AL East.
But
they might win, 70 games or 80 games possibly, but it's not a team to be feared, kind of like their counterpart that they're seeing the Colorado Rockies.
Nick, real quick here, and I know we got to get to the top of the hour, but just quickly out of the box, let's look. The Red Sox are 1-5 to start with.
Hey,
they went to Seattle and now they're in Oakland. What else?
Okay, maybe they ran into 2 good against Seattle. I respect, and maybe Oakland could be that sleeper team.
The Indians are under the Mendoza line right now. They're 2-3. How about the Astros? They're 2-4. So, Seattle's trying.
Dodgers don't look all that impressive. They almost lost the game again last night to the Giants.
But, the Phillies, they're answering the bell. The Braves are the one that have been disappointing. Central, Milwaukee out 6-1. Then you look at the Cardinals.
There's no surprise there. Again, Brewers, I think the Brewers are going to be that. They should be winning the World Series this year.
Cardinals and the Cubs under the Mendoza line. Then you look in the West, where everybody expects the Dodgers to be there. Rockies are kind of the 3-4 team right now.
It's still early on, but is it something that this early on at least sample for the Colorado Rockies? Is it going to be something that extends on?
No.
Who knows? Who knows? Maybe it's just on the road jitters, and like I said, when they come back to Coors Field, things ramp up for them. But only time will tell. Again, right now, it's not a good sight on the road in Philadelphia, at least in Florida, where you are losing to Miami. Let's be honest. You shouldn't be losing any games of the Marlins this season. Tampa Bay, again, a franchise, they're not going to do a whole lot.
They're 5-2.
I'm not saying it's red warnings all over the place, but it is a little bit alarming to start out the season like this on the road against two franchises where you should have just easily taken care of business.
Well, you know, the Rocks come back to Coors Field 3-4. That's not too bad on a 7-game road trip. Yeah. You're almost 500.
Anyway.
All right, we are going to take a timeout. We'll come back. Hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk today after these words.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local. It's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk today being brought to you by Marv's Plumbing and Heating at 1515 Logan Avenue. Mondello's Pizzeria at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, Suite D in the Greenway Commons. Across the street at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, it's First Year Bank, open Monday through Friday. Lennox Auto Body over on Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center located on Pershing Boulevard. Medicare Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs right there on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Roadhouse. Platte Valley Bank ×2, the original location on Vanda High and the east side location at the corner of College and Pershing. Key of Cheyenne over on Nation Way. We want to thank Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range directly across from Menards. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service on Highway 30. And Taco John's of Cheyenne. We get things underway. It's time for our scoreboard, and it's brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne with Nick first.
Only 3 games on the slate for NHL for tonight, but you will see the New York Rangers at home at Madison Square Garden. They will take on the Ottawa Senators. Chicago Blackhawks at home. This game could be seen on NBC Sports Network. They will be at the United Center. They will take on the St. Louis Blues. And last but not least, Calgary Flames, your Western Conference champions, at least Calgary Flames. They will travel down to Anaheim to see the Ducks at the Honda Center. That's what's happening NHL action for tonight.
Major League Baseball, let's get you caught up at the ballparks right now. Games that are underway. In the bottom of the 7th inning at Petco, Padres leading the Diamondbacks 2-0. Bottom of the 7th inning in the Bronx, Motor City Kitties and the Yankees knotted up at 1 apiece. Bottom of the 7th inning in the Rogers Center, Blue Jays 2, Orioles 0. Finals that are in. The Brewers blank the Reds 1-0 at Great American Ballpark. The Nats outlast the Phils 9-8 at Nationals Park. White Sox over the Indians 8-3 at Progressive Field. Rockies in 11 with a Chris Iannetta home run in the top of the 11th inning. They beat the Tampa Bay Rays 1-0. Twins over the Royals at Kauffman Stadium 7-6. Getting underway right now will be the Mets and the Marlins in Florida at Miami. There will be the Cubs and the Braves at SunTrust Park. Also in the 5 o'clock hour, Cardinals and the Pirates. 6 o'clock hour, Astros and the Rangers. Late tonight, Red Sox and the Athletics and the Oco. Giants and the Dodgers renewing their rivalry at Dodger Stadium. On to the NBA scoreboard, and we check out games on the hardwood tonight. Pacers at the Pistons. Knicks will take on the Magic. Bulls and the Wizards in Washington. 76ers and the Hawks at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, GA. Raptors and the Nets in the Barclays Center. Celtics Heat at American Airlines Arena. Hornets and the Pelicans in the Smoothie King Center. Timberwolves Mavericks at American Airlines Center. The Nuggets tonight will be in the can at the Pepsi Center. They'll host the Spurs, so they need to rebound back after last night's loss. Jazz and the Suns at the Talking Stick Resort Arena in Phoenix. Grizz and the Trailblazers in the Moda Center. Rockets Clips in Staples later on tonight. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
This is the Pepsi that's got a date with your taste buds. We're talking 1,000 bubbles dancing a two-step with you and 2 tacos at 2 a.m.
Order number 83. Come on, you're up.
This is the Pepsi that has mastered the art of the late-night munchies and is always down to dig into some deep dish.
Hey, we don't do deep dish, capiche?
Try telling that to Chicago. This is the Pepsi for po' boys, pulled pork sliders, and the godfather of all sandwiches, the Godfather. This is the Pepsi for street carts, anything a la carte, and is dying to make the leap into your grocery cart. Come on, take us home with you. This is the Pepsi for those who are forever fun. This is the Pepsi for every generation.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. Check out these Super Radio buys heard only right here. Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey, 1.75-liter bottle, $22.99. Jose Cuervo Gold or Silver Tequila, 1.75-liter bottle, $27.89. And Coors Extra Gold, 30-pack, 12-ounce cans, $16.89. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader.
Capital Lumber is number one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need. For electrical, plumbing, paint, and tools, lumber and hardware, we're for you. And we're out to earn your business, yes indeed. Capital Lumber is number one today. Are you listening? Capital Lumber's at your service all the way.
Capital Lumber Company, serving our area for over 53 years at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne.
At Medicap Pharmacy, we concentrate on nothing but your medications and your health. Each location is a locally owned, full-service neighborhood pharmacy. We won't make you walk through aisles and aisles of stuff or wait in a long line. Instead, we'll always make time for you by listening, answering your questions, and explaining your prescriptions.
Medicap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be partly sunny with a chance of rain showers with highs around 54. If it's tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with a slight chance of rain showers with lows around 36. On Thursday, it'll be sunny with highs around 61. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 37.
Got something to say? Then get it off your chest right now. Phone lines are open at 307-514-1071. Make your opinion count and call the show. Wyoming Sports Talk today.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk today. Larry Proati along with Nick Proati and Jose Suris, who is the BYB Extreme Fighting Series Vice President. And again, the event happening this weekend here in Cheyenne. So we want to welcome Jose to our program. Jose, where do you hail from?
South Florida, Miami, Florida.
South Miami, Florida. All right.
So a big difference from there to the cold, at least snowy reaches of Cheyenne, Wyoming.
But he's excited to be up here right now, freezing a little bit. So we got a big event coming up this weekend, which we're going to get into a little bit. We did talk to Dada 5000 here, who really ramped it up, you know, getting people excited about coming out to this event.
He was the big hype man for this. Again, we do appreciate at least him joining us. And again, talking a little bit, giving his background, but also to at least giving us some inside knowledge of what's going to be happening coming up at least this Friday at the ISET Event Center.
So tell us a little bit, what do you know about sales, ticket sales for the event? And I don't know if you're also hip to what's going on with the pay-per-view as well.
Well, ticket sales are going good. I mean, we're happy with the response in town. We expect a lot of people to walk up on Friday night as well. We've been told by the locals that it is a walk-up crowd, so we're expecting a sellout.
You know, you look at, we had an event here before. There was an event most recently up in Casper back in November, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, at least regarding bare knuckle.
And I asked out of the 5,000 the same thing I'm going to ask you as well. What makes your organization stand out from all the rest? Because the other two had problems.
Well, we have a long history of bare knuckle fighting with Dada. As a lot of you know, Dogfight, the movie on Netflix, brought it to the world stage from his backyard. So we've had plenty of time to iron out the details and know what we did wrong in the past and know what we don't want to do moving forward. I think our cage also distinguishes us from a lot of people. It's a triangle cage, 187 square feet. So there's really nowhere to run. It promotes combat and we think we're the real deal when it comes to bare knuckle.
Is this pay-per-view the first for the BYB Extreme Fighting Series, or have your organization been at least put on other events before this, at least coming up this Friday here in Cheyenne?
We've had other events. This is our first sanctioned event. The other ones were more underground, unsanctioned, or what have it. So this is our first sanctioned event.
You know, as you are performing at the Cheyenne Ice and Event Center, and first thing that comes to mind, as a matter of fact, we just had the City of Cheyenne Chief of Staff in there. I would think lack of seats. I mean, there's not a lot of seating. I know the ice is melted down. You'll be able to have ringside you can have ringside seats there as well as the GA seating. But I would think, isn't that venue kind of small for this extreme event?
It is kind of small. We welcomed it just because, since it's our first event, it's a good place to start, we felt like. Our cage is a lot smaller than most, so we'll be able to get more seats around the cage itself. So we think it's a good starting point.
And looking at least with this pay-per-view upcoming again, April 5th, 10 bare-knuckle fights coming up again, which will be 5 3-minute rounds, 2 MMA fights as well, at least what has been advertised, 3 5-minute rounds. We talked a little bit about it with Donna 5000 of just what was going to be coming to the city of Cheyenne, but at least with you being around this organization, just talk about who we can expect at least will be participating coming up this Friday.
Well, we got a couple of local fighters. You have Billy the Kid Martin, who's from Casper, Wyoming. And then you also have Joseph Gillen, which is from Rock Springs, Wyoming. And then you got Leo Pla, who's next door in Colorado. So, I mean, we really have fighters from all over. We have some fighters from Florida. We have fighters from North Carolina, Canada. I mean, Idaho. We're pretty well around.
So definitely for at least here the locals, where again we kind of promote of, hey, cheer on the local fighters, whether it's here in the state of Wyoming, Colorado, or at least the Rocky Mountain region. At least you guys have given that kind of respect, or at least saw that notoriety of that, hey, let's give some of the local fighters that stage, especially where this is going to be broadcasted live on pay-per-view, at least worldwide on Fight TV. So again, at least give respect out to the BYB fighting, at least the Extreme Fighting Series, of recognizing, hey, let's keep it local. Let's showcase off some of that local talent.
Yes, 100%. We always knew from the beginning we wanted to include local fighters to give the crowd, that home field advantage, as you would say in sports. To give them a couple of their own that they could really cheer for.
Now some issues that have arisen, again, nothing to at least put on top of BYB Extreme, but for the past, at least we'll go back to the Casper event where that was put on by another federation, which was, at least at the time, president was Bass Rutten, that we got to talk with a few times here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. But that was an organization that kind of came in. It was the first time that here in the state of Wyoming we got at least recognition to, at least they were in existence beforehand, but when they put on their sanctioned at least event up in Casper, it felt, at least the pay-per-view went on, but what happened was afterwards we learned that it had a little shady, at least history, or at least shady past, and it was a situation where organization couldn't afford to pay its fighters, and eventually now that president and the owner faces now jail time. But I think my question more so for you, Jose, is kind of give us some reassurance that we're not going to run into a similar situation with the previous organizations that come to the state of Wyoming, whether it's Casper or Cheyenne, where they've had that shady background and kind of put a bad taste in the mouth of the residents here in the state of Wyoming.
Well, for one, at this point, we have nothing to do with no other organization. So I just wanted to be clear on that, that we have nothing to do with any of these other leagues. And for two, we are trying to do things a little different. All our fighters have been paid 50% of their purse beforehand. As soon as they sign the contract, they receive 50% of their money. Most of the flights went into Denver. We had transportation for them, hotels. I mean, we're really trying to take care of our fighters so they continue to want to fight for us.
Jose Suris, BYB Extreme Fighting Series Vice President, joining us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Jose, you're talking about purses being paid out to the fighters, and I don't know if that answered my question or not, but I was going to ask, do the fighters pay a fee to participate?
To us?
Yes.
No.
Okay, so then I'm reminded then of the first Rocky movie where Rocky knocks out Spider in whatever round it was, and he gets paid X amount of dollars, and he gets locker fee and doctor fee and all that, and then he gets his money. Okay, so as I'm looking at your organization right now, and I think of MMA and I think of boxing in general, are you trying to establish that heavyweight, middleweight, lightweight, bantamweight, female division? Are you trying to establish that type of presence to the nation?
100%. We actually have one female fight on this card. Female fighters are becoming really popular in combat sports. So that's another thing we knew from the first day, that we wanted to include at least one girl fight. And yes, 100%, we have weight divisions very similar to boxing and MMA.
What is the goal out of this pay-per-view? And again, obviously money is the big thing. There's no doubt about it. But what is kind of the ultimate goal for this organization with this pay-per-view, again, happening here in the city of Cheyenne, broadcasting it on pay-per-view? Is it more so of trying to get the name out there via social media, trying to get at least a good amount of pay-per-view buys? I mean, what has been the talks through your organization of what are you trying to accomplish out of this pay-per-view coming up this Friday?
I mean, what we're trying to accomplish, I think, is to give the fight fans what they want, which is action. I think a lot of fight fans have a bad taste in their mouth with boxing, and I mean, especially boxing and a little MMA, to where they pay a lot of money for these pay-per-views, and they do not get nowhere near what they paid for. So I think we're trying to give them that with the small cage. We're very reasonably priced at $24.99, and I think those are the things we're trying to do to give the fight fans what they want, which is fights, and fights that are decided by the fighters, not the judges.
Jose, are you getting to the point with this organization being nationwide as far as rankings, top tens? You know, because as you mentioned, purses. Are you getting close to that big payday purse with the development of your organization?
Well, we're definitely working our way there. I don't know the exact details, but I think some of those other leagues that you mentioned maybe overpromised. And maybe they had every intention in the world to deliver, and they just weren't able to. I think we've been very realistic as to what we can afford right now, and we've been open with the fighters as to what they're making. Like I said, they got 50% up front. So I just don't think we're looking to overpromise anything and then underdeliver. We're actually looking to do the opposite. We're underpromising and overdelivering.
You know, Nick had mentioned with the pay-per-view, and again, you and the organization, you're not in this thing to lose money. So I would venture to say that the organization has that break-even point. Is it ticket sales, or is it going to be based off pay-per-view? How do you, again, you have to figure the analytics out on all of this.
I mean, it's a combination. We definitely need the venue to do well, but we also need pay-per-view sales to help.
Now, was the city of Cheyenne, you know, not so much rolling out the red carpet, but I mean, when you rented the venue, did they make you an offer you couldn't refuse?
I mean, I got to say, up until now, the city of Cheyenne has been wonderful. Everybody's been great. The president of the Boxing and MMA Commission, Brian Peterson, he's been amazing. His team has been amazing. We have no complaints so far about Cheyenne, and we're extremely happy with what we've seen so far.
Well, coming up, I was going to say, coming up this Friday, again, we do want to remind folks that the Cheyenne Ice at Event Center will be live. At least first fight's getting underway at 8 o'clock. Again, that will be the start time. You can see it live on Fight TV. And again, if you want to see it up close and personal, again, tickets are available online and also, too, at the door there at the Cheyenne Ice at Event Center. Again, this Friday, 12 fights in total, 10 bare-knuckle fights and 2 MMA fights. And again, Brawl for It All, the first pay-per-view, at least sanctioned pay-per-view for BYB Extreme Fighting Series, again, hosting here in the city of Cheyenne.
My final thought, Jose, before we let you go, too, depending on the success, and let's say it's going to be successful, do you pencil back in Cheyenne rather quickly, or you have other stops on the tour and Cheyenne eventually will get penciled back in again?
No, we definitely have Cheyenne on the radar right now. There's been talks. There's nothing set in stone, but there has been talks for a follow-up event in August. So we're definitely, I mean, like I said, so far it's been great, so why wouldn't we bring it back?
Absolutely. Hey, appreciate you coming on by.
I'm sorry. If I could just mention, as far as the pay-per-view, whether you have DirecTV, Dish Network, cable, It's available on all platforms. Just contact your local cable and satellite provider, and you can find us.
All right, sounds great. Jose Suris joining us here. Again, the BYB Extreme Fighting Series Vice President. Continued success, and looking forward to a big night Friday night at the Cheyenne Ice and Event Center. Going to take a time out. We'll come back with more of Wyoming Sports Talk today after these words on 1480 KRAE.
At Platte Valley Bank, we understand that you have a busy life, and that means you don't always have time to come to the bank. That's why we offer user-friendly online and mobile banking with features such as bill pay, recurring transfers, and mobile deposit, so you can bank how you want when you want to. Whether you prefer to bank in person, over the phone, or online, Platte Valley Bank makes it easy to take care of your finances.
Platte Valley Bank, member FDIC.
You can count on Platte Valley Bank. Community banking for you.
Chick-fil-A is a proud supporter of our high school athletes at East, Central, and South. May the school year bring success to all of you. Before you start your day, stop by Chick-fil-A for a hearty, delicious, and satisfying breakfast. Only at Windmill and Del Range. Breakfast is served Monday through Saturday from 6 in the morning till 10:30 a.m. Breakfast with Chick-fil-A, the most important meal of the day at Windmill and Del Range. 10 years ago, the Department of Defense selected High West Energy to provide electricity on F.E. Warren Air Force Base. For a decade, we have been proud to work hand in hand with the Air Force leadership to ensure we provide the base with the affordable, reliable power it needs to be an economic driver for the region and serve a vital national security interest for this country. High West Energy, the best choice, the local choice, the right choice for you.
For almost 60 years, 1480 KRAE has been Cheyenne's home for good times and great oldies. Add to that live play-by-play sports featuring high school football and basketball, along with LCCC men's and women's basketball. Now combo that with KYOY-FM, and you have Cheyenne and the area's only locally owned AM and FM radio stations. But we don't stop there. We also have 2 FM translators which serve the area with programming from both KRAE and KYOY. And that equals a lot of bang for your advertising dollar. Radio yesterday and now today, along with our websites, web streams, and digital ventures, makes us your one-stop shop. For more information, please call Larry Proetti at 307-637-0301.
Join in for a festive evening of fun, food, and a live auction in Cheyenne on Monday, May 6th at the historic Little Bear Inn, which is sponsoring the Love Never Forgets Gala to benefit the Wyoming chapter of the Alzheimer's Association. The event is being held to support the services provided on behalf of the nearly 30,000 Wyomingites affected by this relentless form of dementia. For more information, call the Alzheimer's chapter at 316-2892. That's 316-2892. Or visit First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue for your tickets. Remember, at First Tier Bank, you'll find the best rate on a 27-month CD with a 3.10% annual percentage yield. Right now, it's time to head over to Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service for low prices on outstanding RVs in Wyoming. Your local, exclusive Jayco dealer wants you to check out their closeout deals, as well as their 2019 inventory of trailers, fifth wheels, and toy haulers. You can save up to 30% on select models with approved credit. You can find them at 6102 East Highway 30. Jolly Rogers RV Sales, Parts, and Service is a proud sponsor of LCCC men's and women's basketball, also our local high school teams too.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing! And it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Once again, thank you to Jose Suris joining us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today, promoting the BYB Extreme Fighting event coming up in the Triangle, which will be Friday night.
It's not the Triangle, it's the, it's the Trigon is what it is. Again,
Trigon.
Kind of like the Octagon, but the Trigon, again, 3-sided cage, where, again, this pay-per-view will be happening there live at the Ice at Event Center. Again, yours truly will be live there, at least taking a look at the fights. And, again, do encourage those to head on out. Again, tickets available online, where you simply search for BYB Extreme. And then also, too, again, will be sold there at the door at the Cheyenne Ice at Event Center. Again, April 5th. Doors open at 6 o'clock. Fights start at 8 o'clock coming up this Friday. Now, talk a little bit about Jose. Again, obviously, with this event, again, it was a question that I wanted to bring up, and again, not to kind of pick on the guy or at least try to put him under the gun, so to speak, or make allegations regarding BYB Extreme Fighting Series, but in the state of Wyoming, we've kind of gotten a bad taste with a lot of these promotions, especially on the bare knuckles side, not necessarily MMA, especially with the Sparta Combat League, where we talked with that gentleman, at least representing that organization, but more so on the bare knuckle fighting realm, where we saw the local entity here in town that had to deal with the lawsuit by another promoter at least out of the state of Colorado. So again, we had some legal issues with that first one that happened here. Again, that was about last year. You go back November up in Casper at the event center with that federation. Again, infamously, where again, president by Bas Rutten, obviously no longer president of that organization, but kind of hyped it up as it was going to be rivaling the UFC. It was going to be the next biggest thing, at least in combat sports. And obviously, it fell a little. It ran into a lot of issues.
Short of expectations.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it was more so the alarming issue is it did not pay its fighters. And again, those repercussions were felt. And again, where that organization, especially the ownership, now has to deal with legal troubles of their own. Now, and again, not to assume anything with BYB Extreme, but it was, hopefully this is the third time as a charm with this organization. Again, we've talked with Donna 5000 again.
This is the third organization now.
Third organization here in the state of Wyoming, second here in the city of Cheyenne. And again, want to give them the benefit of the doubt. Again, thankfully, talking with Jose there, again, VP of this organization, kind of at least gave us the good indication where they set their expectations not low, didn't put them too high, but they put them at kind of that good, happy medium of here's where we're at. It's not so we overextend ourselves or sell ourselves short.
Well, first off, the fighters are being flown into Denver.
50% already paid up.
And 50% of the purse is being paid. Again, don't know what the purses are.
Yeah, absolutely. But at least, again, 50%, that's more than the other organization can say, though, that they put up for their fighters, though. So
yeah,
at least
Casper,
they
got
zero.
They got the snot kicked out of them, but no paycheck.
Yeah, so at least good to hear that. And again, they've been at least good about at least trying to at least be very, at least fighter friendly, trying to at least make it best as possible for them, at least their stay here in the city of Cheyenne. And again, hopefully this is something that puts a good taste back in the city of Cheyenne's mouth, or at least the residents here and again around the state of Wyoming, where there's been this ugly black cloud regarding bare knuckle fights, and it's been because of other organizations. Well, hopefully, like I said, this is that third time's a charm that they can turn things around, put it in more of a positive spin, a positive motion forward, and something that could be a very good benefit for the city of Cheyenne, or if not the state of Wyoming.
Well, it's unfortunate because, again, you hear about some of the shadiness that goes on.
Oh, yeah.
And again, it's not just in this bare knuckles. We're also looking at what has happened in the sport of boxing. The shadiness that goes on with the two rival organizations back in the day with Bob Arum and again Don King.
And there's some with
MMA has had
UFC, Bellator, all that fun stuff. It's had its own issues, but I think more so again why we're focusing on this though, it affects us here in the city of Cheyenne. It affects us here in the state of Wyoming, where again it's being showcased here, but it's not being showcased on the right side. And again, I think this is more so a glaring issue. And again, hopefully this is a successful event coming up this Friday, that no issues arise from this. But for the other two, I think it's something where the MMA commission, or at least the Combat Sport Commission here in the state of Wyoming, and he kind of mentioned that one name, and we've had that entity on this program before, where he kind of needs to step up, and that organization needs to step up and say, no, this is not going to be allowed. This is how you're going to operate here in our state. This is how you're going to operate here in our cities, at our venues, and you need to follow our rules. So again, it is not putting a bad taste. It is not turning people away from events, at least coming out here to the city of Cheyenne. And again, also too, it helps elevate this up-and-coming combat sport to, again, essentially put this state on the map, put this city on the map.
Or make the event statewide.
Yeah.
Not just, right now it's only limited to just Cheyenne and Casper. That's all.
Well, you've had events they can have at least up at the Camplex and Gillette. Again, it is sanctioned within the state of Wyoming, but again, obviously you're going to have select venues where is it going to be accessible, again, for fighters to fly in there from around the world. Again, obviously Casper is going to be that, at least outreach. Cheyenne, maybe you could find somewhere in Laramie, whether you hold it in the AA. Again, as we mentioned with the Camplex. But other than that, though, again, your outreach is pretty limited because it's just tough to get that ease of access for those international, or at least those around the country
I also
fighters.
believe the acceptance, too, of a certain community. Again, not all communities want BYB in their venues. So,
well, not BYB, but at least
the bare knuckles. But what I'm saying is, Casper and Cheyenne have stepped up, ponied up to the bar.
And Gillette.
But, again, we don't know that Cody. We don't know that Rock Springs. We don't know that Evanston would even.
But also, too,
pony
again,
up to the
if they, and it's something that you talk with Jose, and it's something that we talk with Dada 5000 as well. Again, the big question of, it feels like for an event like this where you're trying to at least start things off right, the Ice and Event Center is kind of a questionable venue to do that in, where compared to the Event Center where you could fill it up and at least, as we talk about with the Cowboys, the Cowgirls at the AA, or with football there at War Memorial Stadium, hey, on a visual side, when you see loads of fans out there, a few thousand fans, and again, it looks like it's a packed crowd, that's a little bit more impressive. It puts a little bit more respectability a part of your organization. And again, around the state, though, there's only three spots that I can think of where you can at least host that. At least the main one would be the Casper Event Center.
Well,
name somewhere else in the state of Wyoming where you can pull off, again, a big venue like that, and where also to that city, or at least
the Camplex. Yeah. But, this goes back to what Eric said, too. When the Ice and Event Center back in the day, when it was the Icon
I'm
Center,
glad that at least he talked about that, too, and gave his opinions on it.
Yeah, it was built wrong. It was built.
Oh, yeah,
it was basically built half-arsed.
Yeah. Well, again, you heard it as well, too. Again, cut corners, again, trying to save some money, and it clearly shows.
Again, it was built by investment money. It was not built by city money. Yeah. Investors who eventually got their money back.
Yeah.
And matter of fact, one of them was a city council member at the time who made sure he got his money back. Mm-hmm. But my point is, the Ice and Event Center is very limited in its seating.
Oh, yeah.
So
a lot more limited than the Event Center.
So when you're in the middle of the arena there for the fight, not every seat's a good seat. You have to be direct. I mean, if you're, come on.
Well, and especially up in those stands.
The corners.
I'm just saying in the stands where you do have big pillars that are in the way of everything. Again, there are big concrete pillars there in the Cheyenne Ice Event Center that do block off great sections of those seats high above the ice rink, or at least the floor there at the Cheyenne Ice Event Center. Yes, there are complications. There are quote unquote bad seating there in the Ice and Event Center.
So you're going to have to get down on the floor and buy the big dollar ticket, or if you're going to get the GA, you got to get there and make sure
you got to get there early because you don't want to be sitting behind.
Yeah, you got to establish your turf right away. But like I said, you look back at our venue, and again, it's
there's a little push.
If you want my opinion, it's chintzy. No, it's chintzy.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But, again, push and pull with at least this pay-per-view coming up. Grateful, or at least, hey, it's good for the city of Cheyenne. It's good for the state of Wyoming that it's happening here in town. And, again, does showcase of, hey, maybe it's a push to get that new arena that has been kind of proposed to happen out by LCCC, or at least wherever outside of the city limits here in Cheyenne. But, again, maybe having these events here, it can push folks and residents to go, hey,
it's got to come to fruition.
We're thirsty for a little bit bigger and better things.
But it's still was the summer of 2021. Is that when we're looking at
something like that?
Yeah. So and again, you
hopefully
you might break dirt, but it's not done yet. It's not set in stone. You also have out at if you look out at the Archer Complex, again, there's another situation that is not totally finished yet either. That also
getting close.
Yeah, but that also is supposed to be one that is going to be built right to host. Will it be able to host these type of events? Again, that's going to be under the county guys as opposed to the city fathers here. So we're not blessed with the greatest facilities in this part of the world. The up-and-comers, maybe Archer, maybe the new convention center in 2021, might be the ticket. We've been waiting on it. And again,
hopefully it is something that
But you know it as well as I do being in Vegas. Mm-hmm. Again, the clubs are just for gambling anymore. They're venues. You can go watch basketball. You can go watch boxing, hockey. The Vegas made sure everywhere you go.
Well, it is that entertainment capital, and they're going to do it right.
And we're not into the entertainment business. That's what I'm driving at.
Yeah.
Cheyenne is far from having any clue about being in the entertainment business.
And I think Cheyenne is in the prime spot where they should look into it and maybe something to benefit from it, where we've kind of been the outcriers of saying, hey, look at Casper, where they have collegiate baseball with the Casper Horseheads. They have a minor league baseball park. Where I go, and I gave the stats of when I was in Idaho Falls to see a rookie minor league baseball team. Again, they are the rookie league affiliate of the Kansas City Royals up there at Idaho Falls. They find a way, again, same population size here as the city of Cheyenne, but they find a way to at least get some athletic entertainment, again, above and beyond that kind of puts those cities on the map. Why can't the city of Cheyenne do it? Why can't we here again where we could have rookie baseball, or we could have collegiate baseball once again? We could bring it, or at least kind of facilitate and have good facilities and a good outcry for at least our junior hockey program, or find some minor league football. I don't know. Again, this city has the potential, and again, I think it has the support here that could. I'm choosing my words carefully. Of more of it feels like, again, from the understanding that there's a want for more entertainment. Don't want to go down to Denver.
There's anymore. A want.
We don't want to go to Casper to go see baseball, or at least rookie baseball.
I understand.
Again.
There's a want and there's a possible need, but we don't want to pay for it.
That's true too.
And again, you look at everybody says to me, and I got here in '86. Everybody says we could have had the Casper events, we could have had that center.
We should have.
But look what we ended up putting. We put it up the Civic Center, which is 7,000 seats less than 6,000 seats less than the event center.
Yeah.
It's not a bad place to go see somebody. No, don't get me wrong. But my point is, everything is chintzy. We don't have anything that, actually, and I'll take this back. I think what the schools did, South, Central, and East, at least they upgraded their facilities. They're nice.
Yeah, but that wasn't the city getting their hands.
No, that's the school district. But at least the school district did it right.
Oh, yeah.
But the city can't seem to get it right. But when we put it before a vote, before the citizens turned their back on them.
Look because, what we saw with Hell Triple C.
But because what happens, though, is that it
seems like the main theme of today's show, and again, whether it's with the Cheyenne Stampede, with Eric Fountain, with the BYB Extreme, the kind of main theme is you gotta work with each other. You gotta find some happy middle ground where, again, for the cities, at least for the citizens of Cheyenne, and again to work with, again to get these entities in, or at least try to put Cheyenne on the map. It's something where, all right, this entity can only do so much, but you need to at least help out as well. And again, whether, as we're talking with, putting up money or at least those votes, again, goes back to the infamous vote that we had for LCCC to improve those facilities. As much as we dog on them, and again, the RACA over at LCCC is a joke. Let's be honest. Again, it's 1 inch short that we couldn't host the volleyball regional tournament there.
Let me say this, Nick. When it comes to taxes, first off, the citizens are going to say no.
Yeah.
Second of all, the citizens have said before, we don't want a rec center, because if you're going to build a rec center, it's got to have this, that, and the other. It's got to have all of this fat associated with it.
Be like a mecca.
And then the price tag goes way up, okay?
Yeah.
So we don't have that. And then again, too, as opposed to want and need. So we're not going to have that. And then, but if the citizens want a grocery, they're going to want a grocery store downtown before they're going to want a recreation center or a new venue. Let's go to the phone line here. Good afternoon. Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk today. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. What you got?
I was just one of the comments. I think part of the problem with Cheyenne and the affordability of things is there's a lot of jobs that don't pay a decent wage, and the housing rate in Cheyenne is just insane.
Meaning, so we have a lot of houses, right?
Right.
And you're saying jobs here are, say $10 an hour, and just not acceptable enough to, move into one of those homes?
Yeah, without, having a decent degree, or even degrees, aren't getting people jobs. But, most jobs when I've looked around are, $12 an hour. And when I bought a house about 5 years ago, the lowest house you could buy was maybe $115,000, which you can't buy that on a $12 an hour salary.
Right. So basically what you're saying here, and correct me if I'm wrong, what you're saying here in the city of Cheyenne, we got all these opportunities, we got all these jobs, but they don't pay bupkis.
Correct. You look at Casper, they have the oil field and coal right there, good paying jobs. And you look here, there's some oil, but for the most part, there's not jobs that pay decent in Cheyenne. That's why we're not going to get civic centers and rec centers and event centers.
Well, and we've also fluttered away some opportunities. The Bud Center, the Budweiser brewery. Again, stuff before I got here. So we've had opportunities, but we've kind of let them slip through our fingertips. So I agree, and a lot of these new big corps that are coming in, they're not offering. They're bringing in their people, and then they're offering $10, $15 an hour jobs, right?
Right.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I appreciate your call. Thank you so much for discussing that with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Have a good day. So, good point there by the caller. Not everybody's making $30, $40 an hour.
Yeah.
To support things like this.
Well, and again, you look back to the budget, again, something that we talked with Scott Noble when he put up, at least in front of the city of Cheyenne, again, for at least the passions for the LCCC addition for the RAC, and just trying to granted, they were asking for the RAC, if I do believe, also to improve the arts center, at least fine arts over there. Again, there was a lot of
dorms.
A lot of additions for LCCC. But when we talked with Scott Noble, though, it was a situation where it was just going to be, it wasn't going to be anything overly abundant, or
it
at
was
least
going to be on our mill levy. Yeah, I can't remember the exact number what was going to be added to our.
But I think it was like a
tax.
small tax on at least houses as well too, or at least again just
for homeowners. Yeah,
but it was a very as he put, at least kind of how he spun it in something that we kind of saw the numbers on it. It was a very small tax that was not going to be felt for years to come, and again was going to be very unnoticeable. It was pennies on the dollar.
But still, why can't the legislature pony up to the bar on that? Again, look as we go back to Laramie County School District number 1. Again, that money does not come from. It comes from the taxpayers. The grant tree is taxpayers. Okay, so Laramie County School District number 1 didn't go out and raise millions of dollars to build the new Okie Blanchard Stadium.
Yeah,
it came from the state. Okay, same thing too with LCCC. That's what they need to do with all the community colleges. They're getting a lot of their funding from the state, which is already tax dollars, or it's mineral and other taxes. So maybe, and I'm not going to get in Scott's case on this one, but I'm just saying maybe this should have been brought up by Dr. Schaefer. Should have took that argument to the state legislators instead of taking it to the voters.
Well, absolutely. I think with, again, to prove athletics and bring more opportunities here in the state of Wyoming, again, here in the city of Cheyenne, or any kind of major city across the state, maybe it is something that those municipalities have to look at, or again, the state needs to look at and start investing into. Again, we're only going to be. It kind of feels like with the state of Wyoming, we're just stuck in this loop of, well, no one's going to invest in anything. No one's going to, at least the citizens are not going to at least be able to at least put up that money because, again, they're not able to do it for whatever reason, so to speak. It feels like it's just a back and forth, or at least kind of we're in a tumble cycle where it's not going to go anywhere because no one is going to put up that money. No one's going to at least have that ability, or no one wants to.
Well, who are you going to go to?
That's just,
you're going to have to go to the mineral folks.
I think so.
We've bled the mineral industry to death.
Yeah.
And then again, too, are you looking at a state tax?
But again,
are you looking?
wait a minute. Is it something that
tax?
I don't know? Again, I didn't get into at least financials or anything like that. I could care less about.
You better care about it.
I'm just saying. I'm getting.
No.
I'm just saying. Don't even try to trap me on this one. But it's more so. I didn't get in that field for a reason. But it is something where those who have been elected, who have been put in those positions, it's something where I say they need to take a look at to give those opportunities, bring in new ventures where we are trying to bring in at least these businesses that are, as the caller mentioned, hey, you're bringing in these businesses, but they're not giving great pay. Well, maybe should we take a look at athletics to bring in some of these minor league teams or opportunities that could lead into, again, growth, opportunities, more money in this state.
We bring in a minor league franchise.
You have to invest to get in something in return.
So again, it's going to be the same thing with jobs, though, Nick. To take care of a minor league ballpark. Just hear me out. I'm not being mean.
Okay, that's jobs right there, though.
I know it's jobs, but again, they're going to be $10 an hour jobs to mow the lawn, water the field.
What about
dogs?
organization? Where again, front office.
You're going to have a front office.
Front office again, GM, vice president spots where that could be
25, 30 people.
Okay, that's maybe for baseball or again a football or a hockey. Yeah, there's opportunities. Again, you're thinking so one-sided on this.
I'm not thinking one-sided.
I'm just
saying
about
what the caller said.
Okay. I moved on past that, but I'm thinking right now again for the state of Wyoming, is it something that this state needs to try and move forward to not go pro level, so to speak, but it's something to look at certain cities to get better facilities, bring in more opportunities like this. Have those chances to bring in more jobs that could pay well, or so to speak.
I would like this, in my time here, and I don't know how much time I have left, but we got to stop doing things cheaply.
Clearly.
I do like what they did out at
well, and I knew you were going to bring up Powers Field, but the hesitation when we talk with the organizer for the Pioneer League, where again the baseball with the Casper Horseheads and all those teams out here.
It's the seating.
It's the seating, yeah.
Yeah. Well, again,
that was kind of the cheap thing.
Yeah, but and again, we could use the model of Rapid City, where Rapid City has not one but two facilities. They actually have 3 parks, but they have 2 facilities that have that type of seating to host minor league ball. We cut corners.
Well, and again, I think that's where it needs to stop at this point in time. We're getting these opportunities coming to Cheyenne again with this pay-per-view and everything else, but it's showcasing off what is wrong about this town or what our shortcomings are. It's not showcasing of, okay, I want to come at least put on my event here at the Ice Event Center. It goes, for those outsiders, I guess there's Casper.
Well, again, too, what I have a problem with the voters.
And granted, we've seen other, at least promotions as well, too, where they took their money and now other states are capitalizing on this. We saw the other one, Tucktail. It is now in Mississippi.
Well, again, too, I have problems with voters, but then again, this is just my opinion. We vote for Taj Mahals that, are $12, $14 million. Why? Do we really need, and again, and no disrespect to my friends of the Botanic Gardens, but do we really need a $14 million upgrade for the Botanic Gardens? I know it's a beautiful showcase. I enjoy going through there, but $14 million.
I don't know when the last time I was even by that place.
The Laramie County Library. We spent millions on that. Again, that's county money. And again, I'm not going to get into this debate, but we seem to want to build all of these big things. But when it comes to everybody, because again, this is only a select few that are visiting or seeing these facilities. But when it comes to something that everybody can use, it's a bigger price tag.
Yeah.
And because there's so much fat attached to it. Why can't we just build again, let's just use a word, field house. Why can't we build a field house? You and me have been in many places where, and I'll use the dome up in Sheridan. Remember they had that little walking
the track
up above the gymnasium. Gillette built a stadium. Or
Gillette,
not a stadium. They built
their facility is phenomenal.
At their college, they built a basketball facility that rivals a college.
Well,
it's smaller. It's smaller.
Well, yeah, it rivals a
it's
D.
it's patterned.
It's nice. It is a phenomenal facility.
You know, you got some communities that do it right. We seem to want to cut corners on some of this stuff. I can't give you the answer. I'm not the one that's in charge of the dollars and cents.
I think
I'm here to support it.
As we need to get at least our final break in before we say goodbye, but I think my main argument for, again, grateful that opportunities like this do come to Cheyenne, but again, is it going to be a one-time thing? Because then once they put it on, as we've seen with other organizations happen at the Ice Event Center, they go, all right, here's our one-time event. We're gone because we don't want to deal with this.
If they draw 3 to 4, and again, you know, where Eric had numbers for us, visible numbers.
Yeah.
Where they draw 300-400, I want to know how many people are there on Friday, and I want to know the actual analytics of the pay-per-view. Pay-per-view, I'll bet you will outdraw than the fans that show up.
Probably. I think that's probably more respectable. I think that is absolutely something that they have recognized of saying, here's our limitations. Here's where we kind of anticipate a pay-per-view buyout.
Do you want to bring your event back for 300 people?
No. And I think that's a shame. That's a shame. That is definitely a knock against our city where we're getting these opportunities. We're getting these looks, but it's detracting more to come in.
We have no
more opportunities.
We have no place to put them in.
That's why, again, it led into where maybe it's time that we need to find someone or something. And again, with that convention center, it sounds promising, but I think it's time for the city to look at, or at least entities around the state to look at and improve.
And where are you going to put it at? That's the next question.
You got land?
I know we got land.
Let's be honest.
Heck, if we don't have the land, we'll annex it in. That's the way we do things.
There you go.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. I'm just kidding. We'll be right back after these words here in 1480 KRAE. In life, you question everything. The same should be true when it comes to managing your wealth. What are your investment recommendations based on? How much are you paying in fees? And how can those fees impact your returns? Charles Schwab encourages investors to get engaged and ask tough questions. To learn more, call the Schwab Cheyenne branch at 307-459-0998 or visit schwab.com/Cheyenne. Charles Schwab & Company, Incorporated. Member SIPC.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Okay, good day in the weight room, boys. Remember, we lift weights for strength. For cardio, we lift weights faster. Wachowski, quit looking at your stomach, son. What you're looking for ain't there. If you want a six-pack, the easiest way to get one is at Taco John's.
Stop in for a six-pack and a pound at Taco John's. Get 6 crispy beef tacos and a pound of potato olays, all for $10.99.
Let's Olay the day and go get one right now. Last one there has to pick up Mrs. Coach from jiu-jitsu class.
Olay the day at Taco John's.
Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. Check out these super radio buys heard only right here. Fireball Cinnamon Whiskey, 1.75-liter bottle, $22.99. Jose Cuervo Gold or Silver Tequila, 1.75-liter bottle, $27.89. And Coors Extra Gold, 30-pack, 12-ounce cans, $16.89. Town & Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low-price leader.
Capital Lumber is lumber one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need. For electrical, plumbing, paint, and tools, lumber and hardware, we're for you. And we're out to earn your business, yes indeed. Capital Lumber is lumber one today. Are you listening? Capital Lumber's at your service all the way.
Capital Lumber Company, serving our area for over 53 years at 1222 Dunn Avenue in Cheyenne.
Are you looking for a pharmacist who will actually take the time to talk to you? Then come to Medicap Pharmacy. We're dedicated to healthcare only, which means we'll fill your prescription quickly, and then we'll make time to listen, answer your questions, explain your prescriptions, and tell you about possible drug interactions.
Medicap Pharmacy. We'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be partly sunny with a chance of rain showers with highs around 54. If it's tonight, it'll be partly cloudy with a slight chance of rain showers with lows around 36. On Thursday, it'll be sunny with highs around 61. And on Thursday night, it'll be mostly cloudy with lows around 37.
Fat, lazy, and stupid is no way to conduct a sports talk radio show. We've thrown down the gauntlet, upped the stakes, and made it clear that when it comes to sports talk radio in Cheyenne, there's a new player in town. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Time to time to remind the youngsters, and June will sneak up on us before you know it. The Laramie County Community College Golden Eagles will have their summer basketball camp for boys and girls ages 6 through 13. Mark it down your calendars, 24th through the 27th. So you're not on vacation. You get a chance to drop the youngsters off and learn some hoops. That'll be in the LCCC gym. The cost is $125. Boys ages 10 through 13, girls ages 6 through 9. So, again, for more information, you can get a hold of Coach Ficka, and that's jfick at lccc.wy.edu, or you can call LCCC at 778-1373.
All right.
Also, we want to mention as well, we got coming up for you. Well, first off, I want to say thank you. Thank you again to Jose Suris from BYB Extreme Fighting
Series,
the vice president, and also earlier in our show we had Eric Fountain representing the city of Cheyenne, the chief of staff. Thank you for joining us on Wyoming Sports Talk today. This evening from 8 until 10, we do a thing called the Golden Age of Radio Theater. Gosh, I love these programs. Sherlock Holmes ×2 from 8 until 9, and